Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. It is not a story that I'm proud of. Sometimes I think I'm going to tell one story and another story pops in my head. That's what happened this morning. I'm standing in the mirror getting dressed, and out of nowhere, I can see Mr. Prado, my ninth and 10th grade Spanish teacher. And I was there banging on my counter, doing my letters. Achahi hotaka. Achahi hotaka. And I was like, why did this story come to me? And then I was like, oh, I remember. Not a story I'm proud of. I was a very smart student. I wasn't always a good student, and my teachers will attest to that. Mr. Prado certainly knows that. My childhood best friend, Tia Thompson, also known as Tia Batiste, our music teacher, Mr. Morris, would push his glasses back and go, Tia Batiste, because we would get into trouble. We'd be singing in choir, and I'd be in the room doing this, and everybody would be laughing. By the time he turned around, I'd be looking like this, like what? Anyway, um, Tia had the first lunch, and I had the second lunch, which meant we couldn't eat lunch together. Now, we went to preschool together, elementary school together, and we were apart for those 2 years in middle school. When we got back together in high school, it was like, yeah, sisters. So we were so excited, but we couldn't have lunch together, which, most of the time we didn't have a lot of classes together. Well, we had one class together, geography. We got kicked out of that class. I can't even tell you about that one. That one's so embarrassing. That one is the kind of embarrassment that will keep you from learning about diversity. It was really bad. Anyway, um, so I had first lunch, she had second lunch, or the other way around. She had the first lunch, I had the second lunch. During first lunch, I had Mr. Prado's Spanish class. Doing During the second lunch, which was my lunch, Tia had some other class. So, hate to admit to you all today, we would cut those classes. Wasn't technically cutting because sometimes we get an excuse to get out of it. Like we would go to Mr. Prado and say, Mr. Morris wants to practice with the choir. Mr. Prado would look at us and sign a permission slip for us to leave. Some days we would just skip class, but we had to go past his window. So we would kind of shimmy under the window, hoping that no one saw us. We would go and either have lunch at this like cafe diner place. Um, I'd use my some of my little cleaning money and we'd go have lunch over there, or we go to Tia's house and raid her mother's refrigerator and we would cook and have lunch because we had two lunch periods. And then we would sing in the mirror. We were like practicing what we were going to be when we grew up. If you believe within your heart, you'll know. And we just had a ball. Well, as I said, I was a smart student. I always got an A in Mr. Prado's class, and Tia did well in whatever class she was skipping. And then after I was done with both of Mr. Prado's Spanish classes, Spanishes. I said, Mr. Prado said, I know you're cutting class. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, I talked to Mr. Morris. I knew that he was not giving you all excuses to leave class. And I knew I could actually hear you all under the window laughing as you'd go by. And I said, Mr. Prado, then how come you didn't say anything? And how come I got an A? He said, oh, Barry, you were a better student out of my class than you were in my class. Why do I think this story came up? I think this story came up for this reason. Sometimes, as parents, we get so freaked out about the things that our kids don't get right. Our ego is so involved. No one has ever asked me what grade I got in high school Spanish. No one has even asked me if I took high school Spanish. No one has asked me my GPA. No one's bothered to check on whether or not did you ever cut a class? That's never been on any job application. And sometimes we get so caught up in what they're doing right now that we cannot see the future. Our playing and doing what we were doing, which was wrong, was planning for the future. Now Tia became top rated singer on any cruise line, on every cruise line. She is a singer and an amazing music teacher. I don't sing professionally for a living, but I have used singing and music in my presentations, and it is a wonderful, powerful thing. While I'm not proud of what we did and how we did it, I do know that there is redemption on the other side. So, parents, don't get so bogged down in the perfection of your children. There's more coming, and it's going to be all right. If you believe within your heart, you'll know that no one can change the path that you must go. I love you.